Oh, fucking shit, dude. I just see your comment hanging upside down from a mango tree. You should have figured to flip your camera just so you would have
Okay.
been upside down.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. So much better.
It's like you got a chair and everything up there.
He's 50 cents at the halftime show.
Yo, for real, actually.
No kidding, man.
It'll come through.
Alrighty, so here we are.
It's
It
always
is
funny.
Tuesday. We are mixing it up. Honestly, as far as mixing is concerned, I know Chris wants to do something. Steve, did you had some planned?
No, I did something earlier. I'll go over
All right, we'll
what I
talk
did.
about some stuff. But yeah, we're just gonna be hanging out with Mr. Labworks here. He was kind enough to give us some of his time because the man is living the life of time is money, and we're able to like snag some of it.
Oh well, everyone can pay me on time
Yeah,
for a
like we're cool
change.
with handouts. I think that's like what's happening, right? Like
Right.
you're basically giving us a handout. Like we're street beggars, and you're like, okay, fine.
This is charity work for the year.
Real funny. Nice hat.
Alrighty, so yeah, let's just jump into some. What have you been mixing, Steve? What have you been up to, man?
All right. Well, after the show last week, I had a 300 ml order. So
Nice.
that got mixed up and shipped out and received already, which is awesome. Um, and I did up some simple stuff for me that I take to work every day. I won't talk about it because Chris hates it. Um, and then I just did up another juice this morning that we're going to talk about a little bit later on as we go through that and show some promise. It was just throw it together and see what I got out of it. But that's pretty much what I did. So Sifu, I know things have slowed down for you. So why don't you tell everybody?
Well, it has slowed down. I was actually able to experiment and sketch and scratch and do some things. I did. So I had submitted one of my mixes. It was the show where me and Overdrip was on Instagram, just us, and I ended up doing a lemon cookie, and I thought it had some legs, and so I went ahead and submitted that to Wayne's, weekly critique. He actually picked it this last week, and felt pretty good about it, and he gave me some really good advice, and just a little bit starstruck, because I've always looked up to Wayne, and just his palette on display is pretty impressive. He's something that would have taken me several versions to get to. He picks up like this. It's immediate response, immediate feedback, and he moves on to the next person. And I thought it was awesome. So I did a reversion of that lemon cookie, and it's right here. And gotta say, just based off of his vaping it side by side next to one that I had done, his critiques were just 100% laser focused on what it needed. And he was right. And very, very happy with this second pass of it. And it's working out real good. Another sketch, I did work on my coconut banana Twinkie that we're going to be calling pancakes. I hadn't put that in a bottle yet. I had got sidetracked with cleaning up the house and doing things, getting ready for Mardi Gras this weekend. So I have a block party this weekend. So I gotta get all of the house situated and got to rope off the street so people don't park in your yard. And it's a deal. So that was happening, and a new experimental mango for the wife. So it's an adaptation of an older mango that I used to have, and she liked it a lot. So that worked out pretty good. And then I got some liquids in from our favorite Eric Vinyl and Vapor. I got some PB Party and some Cycle Crawler, and I got his new Guava and some Blueberry Hill, which I'm enjoying. So I just been vaping his stuff. So Yeah, it's been a good week. So, but that's generally it for me. Just cleaning up, restocking now that I've kind of finally had a chance to catch my breath. I go through my stash of goodies and say, oh, I need some of this, and I need some of this, and just kind of restocking and yeah, that's it for me. How about you, Overdrip?
Excuse me. I actually haven't done any mixing this past week. I've just been kind of kicking it, just letting my mind go to a million different places. I've kind of been preparing as well to go down to the Steel Valley meetup. So I've had to make sure that I had everything lined up to cross the border and to have my dog taken care of and everything else, just because everything was kind of coming close. And I just thought, I had to double check on my reservations for my car, well, the car that I'm renting, and everything else. So I've kind of been doing that, as well as just like other stuff that's like day-to-day stuff, including, a little bit of grinding on some NFTs. But aside from that, I've been just working on life. But I'm actually, tonight I will be mixing because I need to mix like at least once a week. Like that's a mandatory thing for me. So I'll talk about what I'm actually going to mix later on. But yeah, that's everything for me. So Steve, go ahead.
I already went.
You already went.
Okay, well, I throw it to Paul, but like Paul's probably literally doing shit all day, every day. So like he could just talk for the rest of the hour. But go ahead. I mean, if you have anything.
Not so much mixing. Actually working on a very large project that's been brewing in the background now for the last 18 months. Life for me now is more about testing and regulatory type situations, figuring out which flavor houses are willing to hand over data sets and give proper information and proper procedure instead of messing around with guys that will only give you half the information, and trying to figure out a way of how now to get a proper testing regime set up here in Australia because of the restrictions that we've got relating to nicotine, the importation, the prescription model that's not working, and the government's now well over $500,000 in fines since October up until now for people importing nicotine products. It sucks.
Wow.
And it's just getting worse and worse. But the other problem that we have is, and I've been messing around with new hardware that SX Mini was nice enough to send to me. And yes, this is probably the smallest 21700 I've ever had in my hand. This thing is tiny and it vapes really well. And I would love to find out which blueberry they're using in their new little pods, because it's a very tasty little blueberry vape. That one and the grape one. The grape one is 1-to-1 hubba bubba. And other devices, and writing notes for them on what they've sent me. But yeah, not a lot of mixing for me at the moment. I'll get back into it because I've got a very large type package or multiple packages on their way to Australia from a flavour house that I have to sit there and go through and test it all. And that's going to take me weeks, but we'll get there. We will get there.
All right, Steve, how about you, bud? Did you say what you've been mixing?
Yeah.
You
You went
did
after
the original
Steve.
thing with Wayne, and then that was it? You remixed that?
Yep, I mixed that and I did some other things, and yeah, that was it. How about Clown? Clown
Nothing. Still just kind of vaping through stuff that I have, trying to get rid of all the mystery bottles and then doing tester things. So hopefully we are done with testing and we can move on to the next phase. But beyond that, just living day to day. Did jump into the whole building thing again, which that's been fun. Kind of took a nice break since like December, and I started up again last week. And yeah, it's interesting trying to jump back into building after you haven't done it in almost 2 months. But yeah, other than that, not much else going on over here. Yeah. Alrighty, let's just jump into some what is it? The shake and bake thingy. We'll be right back.
Check out our sponsor.
What'd you smoke? Newports?
No, I actually smoked Camel menthol.
Oh. Whenever I was in
Newports.
America, I would smoke Newports
That's funny.
because it was the only one that I could handle. Because all the other American cigarettes tasted like fucking just ass.
Easy.
Fair enough. Did you ever try
It's a
American
different-
Spirits?
It's like a different roast or something, dude. I don't know. Canadian cigarettes tasted nothing like American cigarettes at all.
It's because they didn't
Neither
come
do
with the extra.
Europeans.
It's like it wasn't as like Canadian tobacco is not roasted as dark or something like that, or I don't even know if roasting's the right word, but
Well,
it was closer to a British
roasting is a word, but it's actually blending.
blending. Okay, then it was a darker blend of tobacco in America than Canadian cigarettes.
Mhm.
It was closer to like the UK versions. Because I had a friend
Yeah.
that brought like Benson and Hedges from the UK, and I was like, "Yo, these actually taste pretty good," and they tasted closer to a Canadian cigarette.
See if I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to ask
being-
about this grilled coleslaw thing.
Hang on. Right. Hang on a second. Pulled pork grilled coleslaw.
Yeah, that's
Grilled
what I'm like.
coleslaw.
Grilled coleslaw.
Grilled
What is
coleslaw.
that?
So grilled coleslaw. You take a good coleslaw, you know,
cabbage.
that has a good big solid core. You quarter it right through the core so that it holds.
Yeah.
Put olive oil on it, or
Huh.
actually vegetable oil over it. Then you salt and pepper it. And then you get your grill nice and hot, and you just grill it on the pit until it gets kind of charred and black, and it kind of softens just a little bit.
Hmm.
And 1-to-1 ratio of mayo, vinegar, apple cider
Any-
vinegar, and candied jalapenos. And you just toss that up, and then you put that on top of your pulled pork. And my wife's aunt makes some homemade bread and butter pickles, kind of spicy pickles, and I make a peppercorn type of honey mustard barbecue sauce. And yeah, pulled pork sandwiches. That's the thing that I do for Mardi Gras.
Nice.
Yeah, grilled coleslaw.
Okay.
Like you basically just turn it black. Like you basically burn the outsides of it. But whenever you chop it up, you only have a little bit, as compared to the whole cabbage, you only have a little bit of that good charring that's mixed out throughout it. So
That
Now-
actually sounds pretty good.
No, I know. Now I'm sitting here debating: do I want to sit in a car for 8 hours?
yeah, you do.
Dude, I would.
Because I
I would
live 8
do-
hours from Sifu.
But you know, it's food. Yeah, I'll travel long distances
Mhm.
for food.
Mhm.
I'll ride 30 kilometers on my electric bike to go to the fish markets for seafood.
Yeah.
It's food.
Yeah, I'm gonna get about probably 14 to 16 hours. It's 20 pounds. I do 20 pounds, so it's on my green egg. I'll start. I brine it. So on Thursday night, I put it in a brine, and then Friday night I'm gonna put it in a brine so that when I wake up Saturday, Thursday night I put it in a brine. I start cooking at about 10 p.m. on Friday,
Mhm.
and then I'll pull it and crutch it It's about 10 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock. Another 2 hours in crutch, and you pull the bone out.
Oh, never mind. It's 6.5 hours.
Well, there, look, you just saved an hour and a half.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Right? Come on. You got to take photos of said.
Yes, yes, I will. I've been told to videograph the goings on, the goings on. You know. So last year it was very mild because of the COVID, so not a lot of people had came out. So this year, though, we're expecting a giant crowd. They're already blocked off the streets and got all the stuff ready. And it's Saturday. It's Tuesday today. It's already, everything's all marked off, blocked off, ready to roll. So usually,
Sounds like a good time.
well, that's just it. There was a time in my life when my wife's aunt had a home in Angel Fire, New Mexico. When it was Mardi Gras time, we would just leave, just get out of here. Now you can't leave. Like it's like people are going to have to show up at my house at 10 a.m. for a parade at noon. Otherwise, they won't be able to get here. And they'll just block off the streets. So it turns into an all-day kind of deal, and then they can't leave until the parade's done, sort of situation. So, yep.
That's just in like your town or city. That's not even like
if you live on a
norm.
parade route in any city that does Mardi Gras, yeah, it's going to be the same thing. Yeah, I live on the parade route. Like it's half block from the main drag here.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I do. That's what I'll be doing this weekend.
I can handle that.
Oh yeah, no, it's fun. Like it's always a deal. Sometimes my brother will come with me the night before, and we'll stay up kind of late. You got to, I have one of those DigiQ things where you hit it up to it's got a fan blower on the intake of the barbecue pit of my green egg. And you set it to a temperature, and it just has a little valve, and it opens and closes the gate and blows air and keeps it at the temperature all night. So I don't have to babysit it too much. But it takes a little while for the charcoal to kind of settle and get to a point where it's not so hot or so cold. So you have to kind of burp the pit, open it a little more, and get it in before you can, before you can walk away from it. So
Sounds good to me.
1.5, 2 hours. So I'm up around midnight or so. My brother usually comes and hangs out with me. We drink bourbon and listen to music and, cut up and stuff. So
That works.
mhm.
He wants to swap beads for food.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'll do it for nudes. Just send me nudes, Tim.
What type of beads are we talking about here? 'Cause I know of numerous types of beads.
Beads. I don't know where the tradition of beads came from. Like, I know if you're a woman and you flash your boobs, you get them. I know that.
What does a dude do to get beads?
You got to just be lucky, and you just go. Hey!
So it's not like a junk flash. Like that's just weird. That's like you're going to jail.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, okay.
You just got to be with a couple hot chicks who are flashing. You'll get beads.
No,
Junk
Yeah, I guess
flash.
that's the way that it works, right?
That's exactly how it
You
works.
cast their seconds.
Exactly.
Oh no, these people spend tens of thousands of dollars on this stuff just to throw it away.
Wow.
Like it takes weeks for the, to clean up the streets when they're done. So it's everywhere. It's wrapped into the telephone wires and trees. It is fucking everywhere. It's all over. There's actually
wow.
there's actually a guy that invented a bead that actually dissolves and biodegrades.
Biodegradable.
Mhm.
Okay.
But it's like way more money, so nobody buys them.
That's right.
What happens?
That is absolutely 100% correct. We actually have stores here that just sell beads, and they're only open around Mardi Gras. And
It's
they
like
have
fireworks
they have like
stands.
little fuzzy animals and frisbees and cups and the big tradition though is moon pies. So the little tiny little moon pies. They'll throwing little moon pies out there too.
Dude, moon pies are fantastic.
Yeah,
That's,
it's good luck to get the moon pie. Like if you catch a moon pie during the parade, it's good luck. And it's kind of like it's one of the same kind of traditions. Like in the king cake, they put a little plastic baby in the king cake. And if your slice has the baby in it, you have to bring the king cake to the next party. That's the
Aha.
right. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I
Sorta.
still find that to be the funniest thing ever because we do that in the Hispanic culture, but it's more you get to host Christmas. If you get the baby, you get to host Christmas.
If you get the
Baby
baby, you get to
Jesus.
host Christmas.
Uh-huh.
You don't just bring a king cake to the next party. You have to host Christmas.
You have to host the whole fucking thing.
I do that already.
When you get my family together, though, that means your place is going to get trashed.
I could sort of imagine that.
Yeah, my place is gonna get trashed. Like it's
That's good to know next year when I'm living in Texas.
Oh no, that I don't know about other people. I just know my family. That's what we always did. And, we have
You
stories.
just know that your family trash it.
Oh yeah, dude. Was it? I remember one year. It's mostly because we still make fun of that aunt. She got so drunk, and her English is so horrible. She just got really into the tamales and kept telling everybody that they were really good. And she would get in your face to eat from her plate, and we're like, dude, chill the fuck out. She's like, good tamale, very good tamale.
yeah. I had
We get it. We
I
get
found,
it.
I found beer cans in my bushes and in my sink, and someone threw up on my hose reel one time, and then tried to hose it. It's yeah, I've scaled it back. It used to be kind of like everyone just show up, and now it's mostly just family. But
Sounds like a frat party gone wrong.
yeah, I mean it's. Yeah.
It kind of sounds like a slop fest. Like
Yeah,
people
yeah,
just come to get sloppy, and
Yeah, that's the whole thing about Mardi Gras. I mean, the tradition is you're supposed to let your inhibitions out before the Lenten season. You see, so it's
Get
when they
loose.
blow out
Yeah, get
before
loose.
you repent for your sins. It's kind of a Catholic.
Repent
you have
of your
a
sins.
okay. So then, because then after that, you got to give up stuff and be a good.
Oh,
For Lenten season,
Okay.
like it's whenever the season where you don't eat meat on Fridays, and
So
we're
basically, you're
eating
saying
Anna,
that
so we
Mardi
have
Gras
focus
is a
on
religious
instead.
holiday.
It is.
Mardi Gras is a religious holiday. That's fucking wild, dude.
Well, it's a religious tradition. It's not it's
It's
Like,
like Fat Tuesday.
right. Yeah, it was
Jesus
started by
Christ he raised from the dead, on Easter, but that's nothing on fucking Mardi Gras, baby.
Well, the tradition, Alabama kind of claims that they had the first Mardi Gras in the States, but, that's all up for debate. But I think back in the day, I think the tradition was the parade stems from, it was a pilgrimage through some towns to get to the Vatican or something. And it was a
Luckily, there's not enough people here to be fact
long
checkers.
type of parade. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care. Honestly.
Oh no,
Like,
I'm looking.
I have no
I'm
idea
looking
about
into the
Mardi
whole
Gras or
bead
anything.
thing right now.
Well, they would wrap I think the beads started with rosaries, and people would give, so
Apparently,
there's
some
bead-
guy dressed up as Santa Claus in the 1880s, and he would throw glass beads into crowds, and people would fight over them. So that's kind of where that started.
No, yeah. I
What
think
would the
that
benefit
came
of the
from-
beats be, though, then?
Well, that came from the tradition of handing out rosaries and religious trinkets and stuff, on the way up to the holy place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then it
But that
goes
was
into
back-
the whole Lent thing.
Yeah. It was
okay.
a big old block party where you let your inhibitions out, and you can do whatever you wanted during the pilgrimage. But whenever you got to the holy place, it was time to revere. And
You know what that kind of sounds like? That kind of sounds like, when you're like a teenager or like a kid, and you're like supposed to get home by a certain time, and you know that you're already going to be late, so you just fucking send it,
Stay.
and you
Yeah,
just
you
like
still send
don't
it.
go home
Yeah.
till dumb late because you already know you're fucked anyways. That's what that sounds like to me. It's like
that's
the
hilarious.
adult version of that.
Yeah, there's no sliding scale on your punishment. So if you're going to
Because
be
nothing
late, you
says
might as well
religious
be
holiday
hella
like
late.
drunken soccer moms in tube tops hanging off of a float going and booting music.
Soccer
Yeah, I
balls.
would say that that's hot, but I don't even know if I think that'd be hot. I might be like, this is fucking wild. Like I don't even understand what's happening right now.
Mardi Gras is interesting. That's for
Overdrew.
sure.
Well,
Screw,
and-
screw going to Steel Valley. Go to Sifu's
Well, and then
house this weekend.
in my in
Let's go
Cajun
right
country-
past Steel Valley and straight down to Louisiana.
Yeah, I think that it would take me about 20-ish hours to drive to Sifu's, so that's pretty far.
It is.
That's pretty far.
Well, in my area, we do have a traditional. We call it a traditional Mardi Gras, where people in Mardi Gras mask, they almost big hooded mask and big frilly outfits and stuff. What they would do is they would get on horseback and go from house to house and collect ingredients to make a big gumbo. So one of the traditions was to let a chicken loose, and everyone runs to catch the chicken, and then whenever the chicken's caught, they give that to the ladies to clean and get ready and all that stuff. And then a pig is slaughtered for the pork and everything. It's kind of turns into a boucherie. And then people go to house to collect rice and onions and, bell pepper and stuff to make a gumbo. So that's a traditional morning. The parade is the people go and get the ingredients for the gumbo.
I like that idea.
Yeah. So,
That sounds more fun.
yes, the traditional Mardi Gras is way more fun. It's a lot more relaxed. It's
Well,
not
I mean,
the-
it depends. Like, as like a 42-year-old man, do I want to like go rage party with a bunch of like early 20s? Maybe not. But I'd be down for like just getting shittered with like a bunch of people that I know and like more of a chilled place, especially where they're serving me up fancy ass fucking pulled pork sandwiches with burnt cabbage on top. Like,
Yeah, man.
why would I not want that?
Just no spicy pickles.
Yeah,
Just make
keep
sure
the
there's no
fucking
cucumbers
pickles.
around.
Actually, no, like honestly, like you guys basically bring out the hate in me, I think. I hate fucking coleslaw. It's gross. I don't like cabbage at all. So like I can't fucking win. You know what I
You
mean?
can't,
Like no matter what, I
obviously.
just look like the biggest fucking hater.
Well,
I
look,
can't win. Can't win.
there was whenever I started doing it, there was a lot of people that would skip the coleslaw, and then you could see the wife going, "Yeah, try this. All right," and he takes a bite and goes, "Oh," and then he goes to the coleslaw and then he gets it.
Oh, that's funny. I did
Yeah,
look
like I
into
feel
it.
bad saying that I hate it, but like I
Chris?
genuinely do. I never eat it.
Chris, it's 21 and a half hours from Ontario to where Sifu's at.
Well, like, is that from Toronto?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think you would add
that's
what,
the
like
boat
another
ride?
hour from where you're at?
It depends. It'd probably be like an hour and a half, but it
Mhm.
depends where I would cross the border. It'd be pretty far. Like I
Yeah.
think that's really
That's the
that's
point.
it. Yeah, dude, it'd be like that. I need to take like a 2-week trip for that, not a 1
Show up, eat a
1 week
sandwich,
would
and
be
leave.
way too. It'd be way too fucking short. Cause I'm only going like I'll be gone for like 2 days, going to Still Valley. Like I'm leaving Friday morning and coming back like late Saturday night.
Yeah.
Still trying to swing it. Have to see what happens. Because it's only like a 6.5 hour drive for me.
Yeah, for me it's like just over 7 hours, but I'm going to pick up Sammy in London, which is like a 3-hour drive. So
Yeah.
I don't actually know how far away it is from his house down there, but I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it, mainly because I get to meet a bunch of people that I've never met before, which is going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Especially because some of these people I've known for like almost 4 years, so it's going to be nice to see some of them.
Yeah, James
Okay,
has
so
been
I-
over there living it up, man.
Yeah, he's been there for already like fuck
A
since
week?
Friday. I think he
Yeah.
got in there, and I think that Ashton and his wife get there tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. I don't know when other people are getting there, but I'm getting there Friday. Sammy and I are getting there Friday.
Ooh, my jealousy is
Mhm.
out for.
Your FOMO's
Yeah.
rising.
Mm-hmm.
I missed out on Houston. Now I get to miss out on this. It's awesome.
I knuckled my mix. It knuckles super good.
What you end
I'm
up
actually
making?
surprised. Well, I was basically like in the back of my head, I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna try to make like a Baja Mountain Dew or a Mango Mountain Dew, rather."
Easy.
I don't even like. I like Mountain Dew. I don't love Mountain Dew, but
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh yeah, mango. That sounds good. Mango Mountain Dew."
Easy one. Citrus punch, blueberry, strawberry, mango, and a little touch of peach, and you're good to go.
Now, did you
Okay,
go
well,
that
you know what?
route?
I'm gonna say what my recipe is, and then you guys can feel free to critique it, and then I'll tell you if it tastes good or not.
All right.
So I just called it Mango Blast. I went really original with it. So I put in citrus soda from Flavora at 1.25%, Island Mango from Wonder Flavors at 2.5%, lemon lime soda from Wonder Flavors at 1.25%. I literally took exactly what Paul said before and put this in here. So I ended up going with peach white or white peach from Flavor at 0.5%. And then I put in 2% of sweet mango from Capella. And I put in 0.5% of super sweet because like pops are generally sweet.
Yeah.
So we'll see what it ends up being like. Like I said, it knuckles really nice.
3 days, 3 to 5 days.
It
But
takes
So
a
I
little bit for
shouldn't
that
judge
punch.
it right when I vape it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that punch takes a minute.
For me, the Capella, like sweet mango, it always like kind of drops off a weird spot. Like when you first off the shake, it always is like really up there to me.
That's the
Like it's
cloudy
like
one, right?
very up, and then it's kind of like settles back, and you get like that nice like mouth feel of a mango and shit.
Mhm. That's the real cloudy one, right? The sweet mango.
Yeah.
Cloudy.
Well, it's it and when you if so for anybody out there, like you don't necessarily need to ever listen to what they say about the percentages you should use. You basically have to figure it out yourself because like this one, the median is like 4%. And I always find that if I use 4%, it's like way too much after like a little bit of time. So I'll always like cut it in half basically, and then I add island mango because I think that island mango tastes fucking great.
Mm-hmm. I highly recommend that one.
I'm trying to remember who it was. There was an Inawera mango at one stage.
I know that they have a
There's,
shisha mango.
yeah, so's VTA. That one there, their shisha mango is still, I think, one of the benchmarks. And it was Inawera. They were the two, and they were both a shisha mango. But was it FA that had the? Yeah, it was FA Costa Rica
Costa Rican mango.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one I was trying to think.
I have a
It's
Malaysian
good, but
mango that's
it's
pretty
really
good.
low percent. Sorry, Steve.
Mhm.
No,
Go
I
ahead,
just said
Steve.
I have a Malaysian mango that's
That's
pretty
that's
good.
that's the other one.
The Indian one. The Indian one.
Yeah, that's another one. But it's good to see probably the last 3 years, the companies have listened to the mixing community, and they're going now for regional fruits as well, which I like to see. There's one that I'm still waiting on, like a really good one, a star fruit. There's been a couple of attempts at it, but no one's really cracked that one yet. And the other one, and this is going to sound strange, but not to people that understand from like the cooking world, a plantain.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That, to me, if someone could nail a plantain flavor,
That would take
That-
banana to a whole different level.
that would stop the rump in most bananas. You could
Yeah.
add that as a back note, and it would kick the front note out and go, hello, I'm now a banana. That
Dude, I'd
was
be down
always
for that.
my,
I don't
that
like
was
banana.
my, no,
Yeah,
that
but-
was my theory, and it was my theory 3-4 years ago, that if someone ever did a plantain, that would then lift bananas, and I think it would also kick coconut in the balls and say, well, right, I'm here, and they'd work hand in hand together in certain recipes.
Yeah.
It's,
I've been
it's
using I've been using like a little touch of taro, kind of the same purpose, but it's not. You have to use so little of it,
Yeah.
otherwise you get potato.
Well, okay. Well, then you might as well go and do salt and vinegar chips, I suppose,
Yeah.
by that stage. But
Yeah.
Some of the other like really interesting like fruits, and I'd like to see companies come out and do better pomegranates. That's another flavor that I'd like to see heavily, gone down that pathway. I'd like to see the different variants of kiwis now, like the yellow kiwi, golden kiwi, green kiwi, red kiwi. And then I'd like to see, I don't know if you guys have seen them, but here in Australia, we've got, it's a passion fruit. It's white on the outside, but it actually has a red flesh. And it's got
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
It's got a real sting to it. Like it's ultra bitey. But I think that's another one that could work quite well. The other one, it's another fruit. It's called a babico. And it's like a fruit salad. It's got all these different elements within the one fruit. And it's like, okay.
Wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Oh,
Fruit salad in one fruit.
sort of, yeah. But you've got to see, I'm from a pretty tropical region. So I've been looking for all the different variants of tropical fruits to start creating really complex punches and fruit bases to work from. And this is going to sound even stranger to you guys, but I had this at a restaurant many years ago. It was, believe it or not, a fruit salad apple pie. The main filling was the apple filling, but it was served cold, but the fruit salad was introduced to it as it was cooling. And then it had a really fine filo pastry over the top, and it was just browned off and then let to cool. So all the different fruits were slowly caramelizing as it was cooling. It's the most bizarre type situation and flavor combination, but it was a fruit salad apple pie. It was bizarre, but it worked.
I'd get down on that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd be willing to try that.
Yeah.
The-
I did a mix too. I did a tobacco. I called it Fives after our favorite ARC Trooper, Fives, because I used Inuara 555 Gold at 3%. I used the Kano tobacco from Flavor Art at 1.5%, a spot of honey from BSO at 0.5%, and a little super sweet at 0.5%. And it's vaping nice. The gold, the 555 has kind of a nutty vanilla note that I'm kind of enjoying.
Yeah.
The Decano has almost like a fruit, like a deep, earthy, fruity note. And right off the shake, it's going real nice. It's not quite as earthy or, it doesn't have that weird cheap tobacco note like in some pods, and kind of like a richness to it that I think I'm getting from the Decano. And it's nice, just a little 3-flavor hitter, and yeah, good to go. That's it's pretty good. I'll go ahead and
Triple
release.
fives is an Asian tobacco.
Yeah,
That's why you're
it's
getting
really
that
nice.
note.
It's light and nutty, and it's got like a really nice vanilla note.
Mhm.
It's pretty good. Yeah. So I'm gonna release this one. Fives.
Where was it? It was Hang Seng. They had a triple five. That I think still to this day is probably one of the benchmarks for a triple five. That, and they also had a Davidoff. It was the basis of a Davidoff, like a European style. Beautiful. But yeah, it'll work. It'll take a little bit of time to get to where it should be. But a good friend of mine's been working on a lot of how would you put it? Really boozy tobaccos, like rum and bourbon infused. Elements of dried fruits and things like that. But the steep time on them is, 4 to 6 weeks, even before you can get close to them.
Mm.
And they really start rounding out at about the 60 to 90 day mark. It's good, but it's a big headache. But it works.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how these ones. I don't think I've ever used either one of these tobaccos, and right off the shake, they're pretty good.
I'm trying to remember what that other tobacco was called. Give me a second, and I'll find it in my.
Well, I had an urge to put red burley, but I thought it might have been a little too strong for this one. So
Red Burley, I'd take it.
I wanted to keep it a little lighter. So
well, yeah. If you want to keep it light, you use what do you call it? See, when you're playing with Red Burley and stuff like that, that's heavy. That's I'd classify that as a heavy tobacco.
Yeah.
But
a couple of drops of that are in my custard tobacco, and I find it works well in that to kind of make the tobacco stand up to the custard a little bit. I mean, I'm talking drops, like a drop per 10 milliliters, something like that. It makes hardly nothing. It's so strong. At one time, I tried to mix it at a 0.5% or something, and it just wrecked it. Like,
oh, okay, yeah. Well, at that percentage, I could understand that happening. But where is it? I'm trying to find this list of. Trying to find a list of flavors that I have here, and there was a couple of tobaccos. Oh, that's it. Tanika's another one that you can use. Can't find it.
writing these down.
Well, there's a whole list of tobaccos that let's see if I can find it in one of my backups. I know it's on a drive on my server, but I've pulled access from that at the moment. I'm just working off a couple of drives here. It was, Tanika, Golden. It was a Hang Seng tobacco, and it was. Let's plug another drive in. Let's find this for you. If you had a look at my desk, I've got what 6 4 terabyte external drives sitting on my desk at the moment. that I've got to what? You don't start. It's happening again. All right, the data sets are growing again. All right, leave me alone. But at least I'm naming everything.
Yeah,
At least
and
I
I'm
keep.
I'm a labeler now, by the way. Like I think
See?
that I've emphasized this, but I am a labeler now. It's good.
Yeah.
It's like a totally different life. I feel like I'm actually halfway decent at organizing my shit, which is
Yeah.
also great.
Yeah.
Surprising, but great.
Well, it makes life a whole lot easier.
Mm-hmm. I can
I
attest to
find
that.
that I used to spend time like racking my brain about dumb shit that I
Yeah.
was mixing and
Yeah.
like what I might have done. And then when I
Yeah.
was taking notes, I would be like
Yeah.
taking notes and I'd be like, yeah, but I don't even remember this, like what this bottle even is or when I made it or anything. And like, how am I supposed to take notes? And then ever since I started to take notes and actually label shit and mark it down with like the proper date and everything, I found that like I've been incredibly more effective. Like I
Yep.
can actually like nail something after like 3 attempts as opposed to like trying to get to 3 attempts just to get back to where I was in the beginning. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
You know, it's I think it was from Euro flavors. That's it. Dominican cigar was another one. The other one, if I can find it, it was if you want to put some serious balls into tobacco, flue cured tobacco. Hang Seng again. French pipe is another one. French pipe's got a really nice aroma to it. It's quite light. It's quite a light tobacco, but then you can go through. You can go through and build it, and it doesn't actually take away from if the recipe's part steeps and you go back and put a drop or two in of the pipe, it'll lift it a little bit further. It's quite a light tobacco. There's another one called Ligero. Trying to think of the other one. Any of the pipe tobaccos that are light that you can put together like piece by piece, and you can just. I've seen some tobacco recipes now that have got 16, 20 components in them,
Wow.
but you're looking for a specific blend, and this comes down to there Frank's Euros in Texas. How are you, Frank? The other one, I cannot remember the manufacturer of the peanuts, right? Oh yes, I can. It just came to me, and Addie will remember this. Decang, Chinese manufacturer, they had some wild tobaccos in the very early days, and they went back through and changed a lot of theirs. But Hang Seng has probably got one of the biggest tobacco ranges I've ever seen. I think there was over 300 in their range. A little bit different.
I'll look that up.
Yeah.
How's your stuff vaping over drip?
Okay. Right now, it tastes pretty good. Like it actually does. The one thing that I'm finding, which maybe I shouldn't be that surprised because like one of the only like we'll call it like citrus sodas that I've enjoyed commercially has like a level of throatiness that is a little bit more than like I'm normally used to. And like whenever I mix my own stuff, I mix it at 2.5 milligrams. So I mix this at 2.5 milligrams, and I'm finding it like a touch throaty, but I kind of feel like that's okay because that's what like blast off is what I'm thinking of by like OPMH. And it's like a bit throaty.
I don't mind a little bit of bite in some liquids.
We'll put it this way. I could probably vape this at a 1.5 and it would be more throaty than me vaping like any of my flavors at 3 milligram, like made from the lab, right? So it's like a little bit more throaty than what I'm used to. But it tastes good right now. I want more mango, but I know that the more like mango will come out a little bit more after a few days. So like it might end up being like pretty good, like pretty decent for like a first attempt. Hey, let's see what fucking happens. I'm not really upset with it. It tastes pretty good. It's like the right sweetness level.
Sometimes some of the notes, they'll fall away when you're working with citruses and things like that, and the sweetness will come up. But then magically, for some reason, they reappear after 5 or 6 days. I've still, to this day, in all these years of mixing, never understood that bastard of a thing. It was there one day when you taste it, and then it's gone, and then it reappears. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, you stupid thing?
Yeah,
You're
it's
pulling
like
your-
for
you're
real. It's like
pulling your
I've made
head-
all these notes and now I'm gonna fuck them up. And now I'm tasting it again, and all those notes I just made are
Yeah.
literally answered by this liquid again.
I'm like, what? That always does my head in. And these days I've gone a different way of mixing or looking at mixing. I'm going and looking at SDS data, and then I'm looking at COAs or certificate of analysis, and I'm seeing what they do at different temperatures and things like that. Then I'm working out recipes based on that, just by looking at the chemistry of what the flavor actually is. It's bizarre, I know, but someone said, "What, have you got a calculator for the brain?" I went, "Oh, well, no, not really, but I just see things in the numbers there."
All right, so I had something I worked on earlier. I didn't mix it during the show because it was going to be a hang session, but I still did something today anyway. The name is Roots Bloody Roots. I decided to mess with some of the root beers that I had, since one of my favorite vapes is Sifu's Kick It Down Roots. I wanted to make a spin off of that, kind of. So I went with champagne cola from Wonder Flavors at 1%. I used cola from FA at 3%. I used Kentucky bourbon from TFA at 2%. The mistake I made was I put 0.75% of colada in there. I should have kept it at 0.5%. So it's a little bit too much of a cool for what I wanted. So I know to fix that when I go back and mess with it. I used root beer NF from TFA at 3%. I did root beer fountain style from SC Real Flavors at 2%. Super sweet at 0.5%, and vanilla bourbon from TFA at 0.5%. I have a new way of being able to quick steep stuff. I found that if I set a 30 ml bottle on top of my receiver underneath the LED lights, it only takes about 3 hours to give it a nice golden color. It's like giving it a warm water bath without sticking it in water and having to deal with it. It doesn't heat it up a lot, but it's enough to really start combining things. So I've been doing that now to quick steep some stuff to get a better sense of what it's going to taste like. I've been vaping it all night. It's good. I know the colada is a little too much, so I'll drop it 1/4%. The root beer fountain style is really coming through right now. I mean, this is just basically meant to be a straight root beer. More of a, I guess you would say, like a brewery style root beer, not so much like A&W or something like that. But I've been to breweries that brew their own root beer like they do their beers, and it's just got more bite to it, and it's been pretty good so far. I'll be curious to see where it's at after about 3 days. I'm liking it. The reason I use the colas is just for the mouthfeel taste of like the carbonation. The champagne cola, when used pretty low, doesn't change much of the flavor. And I think the bourbon killed the regular cola flavor.
Champagne
So-
cola can get bubblegummy.
Yep.
Yeah, I only used 1%, and this is a really heavy mix. It's at 12.85% or 12.5%. So it's a pretty flavor heavy mix. But I'm happy with it.
Nice.
I'm going to adjust it one more time. I'm going to take that colada down, and I might up the super sweet just a hair and see where that goes. But it'll probably end up being a MTL one that I take to work every day. And then since you slowed down, Sifu, I can order more. I just wanted to wait until you weren't being crucified with all the mixing you were having to do.
Yeah. Excellent.
I don't know why, but I'm actually really enjoying what I mixed tonight.
There you go.
Good.
You can do fruits.
Good.
Like
It's
I'm
a
actually
good thing,
really,
though.
really surprised. No, I can do soda pop apparently
All right.
with fruits involved.
Well, take the fruit punch, take the citrus punch out, and see if you like.
And you know
it.
what's crazy? Like I get 0 peach. I'm
Oh,
like
yeah,
I've
you're
been
not
trying
gonna
to pick
taste
it up, and
no.
it's not there at all.
You
But I
want
feel like it's really helping out.
Peach,
Like even though I can't taste it.
Yeah,
peach
some
is a
ratio
good-
of peach,
good
peach,
juice enhancer.
hot, and mango. Any of those three together in some type of ratio will get one or the other. You know, it's strange. It's kind of like what Labworks was talking about, different chemistry. It's just something about those three that are so close that they just help each other out no matter what you're doing.
but 3 days in, that white peach will appear as a back note.
Oh really?
It's weird.
All right, then I gotta stop vaping this because
It's gotta last for those 3
it might not
days.
last 3 days.
But this
That'd be
is what
hilarious.
happens, right? Who was it? No, it was Addie Chinny. We were on a show, and I said that someone was having problems with peach, and this is around the time that white peach first started appearing, because it hasn't been around for many years. And someone was having problems with yellow peach, and I said, you can hit it with sweetener, or you can hit it with another stone fruit. And then another stone fruit being a peach. Also, the other secret is an apricot. Will
I was
also
just
do the
thinking that
same
because you
thing.
said stone fruit, and I actually think that like apricot tastes amazing.
Apricot's a good
Well-
backer.
Yeah, all of my
Yeah.
peaches have a little bit of apricot.
It was years ago on Fresher Show, and someone was asking, they had a problem with the peach. They were doing a tea, right? It was a peach tea of some description. I said, you need a white peach to tone down the other peach, or you can add an apricot to tone down the peach as well. And they thought, why? And I said, well, they're all stone fruits for a start. And then if you cook with them or stew them, you don't need as much sugar if you throw white peaches into your actual mixture when you're stewing down, like regular peaches. So if you throw white peach in with a yellow peach or an unripened peach as such,
Yeah.
it just has something to do, and why, again, I don't know. I've even asked chefs, and pastry cooks, why do white peaches sweeten even if they're unripe? And I said, it's just a natural way of the beast with that one. It caramelizes a lot quicker, it breaks down a lot faster, but you'll have the white peach, just a hint of it at the start of your recipe. And then if you leave the pie overnight to properly cool down and then slice it the next day and serve it with cream or vanilla bean ice cream, that white peach is back again.
I'm kind of looking forward to. I might. You know what? I just might mix another bottle, so I can just vape this one and not worry about it.
Just do another one. Let it steep.
Well, I still have everything out, so it'll be simple. I'll do it
Might as
after
well
we're
rip
done
it,
the
yeah.
show. At some point tonight, I might even make a 60. To be honest.
Yeah.
Do
same
it.
here.
Kinda dig it.
Well, I had a recipe years ago called Baja Blast, right? And it was one of my most proudest recipes. And now that the concentrates have gotten so much better, I'm revisiting that. But I want to do some really wild type bends on this recipe and start adding really strange tropical notes to it and even hints of vanillas. Why? I have this strange idea that it might end up like the tail of it might end up like a creamy soda of some description.
Oh yeah.
That's my thought.
I could get
process
behind
on
that.
Yep.
That's my thought process.
I think that's a
I
pretty
like
good.
that thought process. I like it.
Thought process. All right. So we're going into overtime here. So we're gonna have to cut this and all that fun stuff.
That's all.
So who wants to start off the sign ups? Who haven't I picked on yet? Sifu?
Yeah. Why not? Thanks, Labworks, for coming out, man. It's always a great time for you to show up, man. Always come away with awesome new flavors to try and some other cool tidbits to look into. So I really appreciate you coming on and hanging with us.
Secrets.
You know where to find me. Come and find me if you want me. So bring it on. Might not do too much this weekend because I'm going to be in full party mode, full seafood party cook mode. But I'll get you squared away. Thank you everyone for coming out, and thanks for a great show. See you guys next week. Steve.
All right, guys. Have a good week. Be good to everybody. You know, we're all in this together. So just try to be kind. If you want anything that I'm doing or you need the menu, find me on IG under Blue Buddha Vape, or if you're on the Discords I'm on, hit me up there. I'll be happy to talk to you and, square you away. Other than that, just live long, live strong, and be really good to everybody. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay. Well, I will just say thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks, Paul, for coming on. Always like hearing things. Plus, I might have learned something today. As a matter of fact, I did learn something today. I learned that peach in this mix is going to make it taste better, and it is very good. So thank you for coming on. I will say, if you guys want to check me out on Friday nights on Frames Janko Vapor YouTube channel, I don't think that there's going to be one this Friday. I think that instead on Saturday night, there's going to be like a Saturday evening, there's going to be a cloud comp that James is going to be doing from Steel Valley, which I was told is the last cloud comp ever at Steel Valley, because they're actually taking down the whole wall graphic that has like the cloud comp kind of painting on it or whatever. So you can probably check me out there. And then obviously you can check me out on the Shit Time Podcast. If you go to shittimepodcast.com, you can check out all your stuff that you want that has to do with it, including our Patreon. So if you want to check out our Patreon, you can. We upload videos, and there's a bunch of stuff, including a pretty good coupon code for my website. which I will also plug right now. And I'll say, if you guys want to try any of my liquids, feel free, go to unclechris.testinggrounds.com, use the coupon code Mixing It Up, all one word, just like the show, all lowercase. And you can try any of that stuff there. And I think that that's everything for me. So I'll just say, everybody be safe, have a good week, and Clown, take it away.
Alrighty. Paul, you got anything you wanna promote, pimp out, all that kind of jazz?
No, just you can all find me on Twitter. That's where I do most of my work these days. I'm more of an advocate than what I do now for the mixing community. I'm always trying to pull the pants down of the Australian government and show them that they're all a pack of dickheads. So that's my job. That's what I do, and that's what I do the best at now.
There you go.
And reading data sets and keep working on this project until we get it.
Is there any the right way. Any sites or Twitter pages or anything you would recommend for anybody advocating for Australian vaping stuff?
Follow myself, Dr. Colin Mendelsohn, Adam Breezetones, Bruni Saint. If you find one of us, you'll see what we're up to and how we're throwing mud at the Australian government left, right, and centre. We've been in a few big conversations with the TGA and other government departments here, and the quit groups and the body part organisations. They don't like us. I've been banned by a few now because they don't like reading the truth. But who cares? We'll just keep going. All I can say is, hashtag louder. You've got to get loud to be heard and seen. But once you have an understanding of the Twitter space, you'll know who to follow. And I go backwards and forwards between a lot of my US colleagues, and we're always backwards and forwards now, looking for real data sets and trying to keep proving the point. CTFK and PAVE, they don't like us anymore because we keep pulling their pants down as well, left, right, and centre. Blatant lies are one thing, but when you show them and then, oops, you can't comment anymore. Really? It's not that smart. It shows the ignorance. That's what it's showing.
For sure.
It's showing the ignorance.
Yeah. Seriously.
Addy Tooney's, he's putting the links.
Yeah, Addy Tooney is the man. He's on top of that shit. Always.
Yeah, I know. Twitter's our war ground. And especially with the US, because your senators all have Twitter pages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hit them. Bam, 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 bam. Keep going.
For sure.
All right? Stop the stigma.
Mm-hmm.
Let us fight.
I mean, that's the truth of it. I mean, we're trying to find a safer alternative. It's harm reduction. And, I mean, the whole rage quit thing on Twitter happens quite a bit for me because I just can't even deal with the stupidity.
It happens.
Oh,
it's
dude,
rampant.
you should see how bad it is on Reddit. That gets even way more stupid.
No comment. I won't go to Reddit anymore.
Yeah.
I go there for woodworking now. I don't go there for... No.
He full on rage quit that one. Alrighty. As for me, you know where to find me: Instagram, Facebook, Discords, and all that fun stuff if you want a juice or coils. We'll say, as always, be kind to people like us and coil builders and other mixers and stuff. We are just humans and we still have other responsibilities besides what we do. So, if we're taking a little longer on your order, just give us a break. Like I said before, if you've had zero communication after 2 weeks, at that point, have at it. I don't fucking care. And with that being said, also, we put a lot of work into what we do and stuff like that. and liquid and vaping and all that is very subjective. If you don't like it, you don't like it, and it's not your thing, and that's cool. But don't ever start making weird, odd requests. Just saying. Then beyond that, we'll catch you guys next week. We'll do some mixing and all that stuff. We were just hanging out, chatting it up with Mr. Labworks, getting some knowledge because the dude comes with a plethora of it. So, yeah, we will catch you guys next week. And as always, vape on, mix on. Bow.